Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Capital City Baptist Church. Our title today for our devotional is just Seek Him. Found in 1 Chronicles 16:11, it reads like this: Seek the Lord and His strength. Seek His face continually. I think that all of us have at least one, if not many, childhood stories about getting lost. The feeling of being lost it's both strange and it's also terrifying. I say strange because it is a feeling where you almost feel like you're abandoned, even though it is likely your own fault that you got lost in the first place, right? Um, I remember that this happened to my little brother, this incident. Because he was quite impulsive as a young boy. One time, I remember we were at the hospital and he jumped into an elevator whose doors were closing. My parents didn't get to the elevator in time to stop the closing of the door, and my brother, at the age of about 3 or 4, he went for a ride up the elevator with my dad in pursuit, running up the stairs to find him. And I would say it was probably the most agonizing minutes of my brothers as well as my parents' lives as they searched for him. Of course, my dad did find my brother and came down with him. And as opposed to the kid that had rushed into the elevator without waiting for mom and dad, on his return, he came back quite humble, crying and clinging to my dad. Now, I suppose I could probably tease him about that incident, which he conveniently does not recall. But the truth is that most of us, if not all of us, have our own stories to tell in which we wandered away from our parents only to get lost, and then the absolute terror that would follow. Our walk with the Lord should be like that. Our walk with the Lord should be where we depend, seek, and count on Him and His strength. When we feel like we got this and we can do whatever we put our minds to, that's when we frankly need most His guidance and strength. His word states that without Him we can do nothing. That's what John 15, verse 5 says. And I am reminded that when Joshua was convinced by his people to attack Ai without consulting the Lord first on how they should go about it, well, you know what happened. Now, having won a very significant victory against Jericho prior to Ai, it probably gave them a false sense of confidence that they say, we can handle this. That on their own, they could accomplish great things. Who needs God? They didn't say that, but that's how they acted. Sadly, because he didn't consult God first, he and Israel suffered an embarrassing and devastating defeat. Joshua and Israel forgot that they had not fought against Jericho in the conventional form of warfare, at least of the day. They had not personally broken down any walls, much less the wall of Jericho. God did that. And when the walls did come down, most of the enemy fighting men had been killed as they came down with the walls. God did that. In essence, this battle victory had little to do with Israel's military might, but more to do with the might of God. I mean, think of it. Who can order an earthquake to come upon an enemy city at the precise moment when needed? Not man, that's for sure. But God did. In fact, He caused it to happen at the exact time, day, date, moment needed. As believers, let us not get to the point that we start sounding like, the world when we speak about our accomplishments, whatever those may be. Instead, brothers and sisters, may we be challenged to give God the glory in everything. Let us continuously seek the Lord and his strength by seeking his face continuously. Not just when things are not going our way, but continuously. Not just when we want something or are facing adversity, but continuously. Let us remember to seek the Lord in prayer, his counsel, his direction. Let us seek the Lord's strength, his assurances, his promises, his spirit in us. And let us seek his face continually, not just when all of a sudden we feel lost and alone. Don't wait until that moment of desperation. Remember to seek the Lord in his strength and his face. How often? Continually. Continually? Continually until he comes. May God bless you. Thank you for listening. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday if the Lord wills.